Hello everyone, this is the Saudi Football Fanatics podcast and the whole team is together again. Hi Gyula, hi Andris.
Hi,
Hi.
hi, Mark. Hi, you.
Okay, so since there is an international break, today we will mainly speak about the national team and its matches against Tajikistan. Maybe we should start with a quite provocative question. Should we congratulate to the national team already, or is it too early? What do you think, guys?
Uh, practically, we can congratulate the Saudi national team. I believe. Theoretically, we cannot do that, as we are mathematically speaking are not yet qualified to the next round of the World Cup qualifiers. We would still need to gather 1 point during the following matches, and with that, that would be sure that we finish in one of the first or second place is most probably the first in that case, but not yet because the the following matches can turn around in an unfortunate event, in an unfortunate case that we only got third in the group. But this is, I believe, only a theoretical chance because there will be many factors that would also need to be met simultaneously.
Yeah, I think, however, that chances are very slim that the kingdom is not progressing from this group. So obviously, we want to see the mathematical surety that Saudi Arabia progress, but I think that uh, we can start the celebrations, but only lightly at this stage.
Yeah, indeed, I agree. But we should now manage to. And honestly, I really want to see Saudi Arabia at the top of this group now, so we shouldn't lose that
But,
opportunity.
but looking at the other groups, we can say that this is one of the stronger groups, isn't it?
Actually, yes. So that's what we also wanted to talk about today. That when this group stage started, we didn't think that, I believe, but if you follow the Asia Cup, both Tajikistan and Jordania, especially Jordania, did very well. So this is, I believe, the strongest group without any question now in the World Cup qualifiers. Or am I incorrect?
No, you are correct. And after our performance, after these first four games, I'm quite sure that Mancini is now in form as well, not just the team, but he is as well, not like on the Asian Cup, because after the first three games, I think we had a 7-0 goal difference, and now we just conceded our first goal against Tajikistan. So it's quite an impressive performance from the Kingdoms team. And regarding the strongness, let's say, of the groups, here we have Jordan, who was a finalist at the Asian Cup, and also Tajikistan, who was able to beat the United Arab Emirates and reach the quarterfinals, if I recall correctly. So
Yes.
both teams were stronger and went much higher in the Asian Cup as the Kingdom.
And actually,
So
they played against each other, right, in the quarterfinal in the
yeah,
Asian Cup, and Jordan went forward.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So and after four games, what we see is that we are ahead of Jordan, and also we gathered 4 points against Tajikistan. So it's quite impressive.
Yeah, especially that we are unbeaten, and as you mentioned, this only one goal conceded praises our defending tactics and improving defense under the hands of Mr. Mancini. So, yeah, the future looks now a bit better at the top of this group.
Yeah, and anyway, we will lose a strong team at the end of this group stage, and it will be much easier for the other teams in the next round, I think, because just to be clear, uh, because I think this AGN system is quite difficult to understand.
It is. It
Yeah,
is very much. Yeah. So
i-
maybe you should now
yeah,
give a
yeah.
bit
Yeah,
more
we,
detail
we,
to the
we tried
listeners.
to summarize it, and I think in one of our earlier episodes we did a brief summary of the system, but I agree that it's worth repeating, because in practice we will see that it's quite difficult. Also, we can ridicule this South American system where they just make a big group instead of the Asian system, and practically everyone progresses. So looking at the two different systems, I think both has its shortcomings, but yeah, this is quite a difficult one too.
So Mark, what will happen now?
I think it's much easier if we speak about only this round and the next one, just to understand, because if we talk about the whole system, it's much more complex and hard to understand. Right. So what's next? We still have 2 matches, and after that, the next round of group stages actually will start in September this year. There will be 3 groups with 6 teams in each group, so 18 teams together. And at the end of that round, the first 2 from all groups, so all 3 groups, actually 6 teams, we reach the World Cup automatically. Hopefully, Saudi Arabia will be among these teams. But for the other teams, help me out if I'm not correct, but there will be 12 teams. There will be another round of group stage. So it's quite difficult.
Isn't it 6? I mean, you take all the 3 groups, and in the groups, the 3rd and 4th places will be qualifying into this playoff.
Yeah, that's 4th round. You are correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you will have 2 3-member groups. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I said that it's complicated. Yeah.
It is.
Just to further complicate these things, we are already in the 2nd stage of the qualifiers, because there was a 1st stage in which the Kingdom did not participate because of its ranking.
Yes. So the main thing is that we should not be eliminated at this round of this complicated system. And in the next round of group stages, we should be in the first 2 teams, if possible, in our group to reach the World Cup. And if that's not possible, then we should be on the 3rd or 4th spot of the exact group to have any chance in the next round.
And this seems quite challenging. I mean, right? I mean, okay, now we can agree that we expect that we will make this group. We will go forward, but then we will go to this group of 6 teams, and all of these 6 teams are finished as 1st or 2nd of the current group stage in their own group, meaning that these would probably be teams with quite well enough shot power, to say it easily. And even if we say that, okay, if you look at our group, this is really the hardest group, and if you look at the rest of the groups, those are not so strong, but still at least one team out of those groups are quite literally very strong. So the next round will be very, very challenging, and because there are 6 teams and only 2 of them qualifying automatically to the World Cup, there will be little chance for error. So we will focus on that group very much, starting from the draw of that group and during the matches, obviously.
Russian. Saudi League. And back to the exact matches against Tajikistan a little bit. So on 2 matches, only 1 goal conceded, and if we check the full picture, on 4 matches, also only 1 goal conceded. What do you think about it? Maybe we finally found our defense, or what is the reason behind this?
It seems to me, as you mentioned earlier, that Mancini was experimenting with the defense, but now it starts to be even more stable than before. If you look at the players, they are from many different teams. Just taking into account, the Tajikistan match, the recent Tajikistan match, which resulted just 1-1. I don't know, half an hour before this podcast started. On the goalkeeper position, there will be many changes. Currently, it was Al Owais from Al Hilal who was defending the goal. So he was the lucky one. I'm just joking, but he was the lucky one who conceded the first goal of this group stage. Apart from that, he made a very great performance. The defense, it seems that Lajami from Al Nassr stabilized his position in Mancini's team. No wonder. I believe he's probably the most stable brick of the defense in Al Nassr as well, if we can call that stable. I don't know, a wall or something like that, because it's not, unfortunately, in the past. But Lajami performing very well, and also Hassan Kadesh seems to stabilize his position. Also, no wonder, I believe. And we have to talk about the other central defender in this, which is Al Saluli, was against Tajikistan. I'm not so surprised. He's a player of Al Tawun, if anyone would not know that. And in the previous episodes, we were discussing about the stable defense of Al Tawun, only bested by Al Hilal probably in this season. So I mean. It seems, or it was inevitable, that we will see an Al Tawun defender. We will see an Al Tawun defender in Mancini's squad. And also, these are supported by Al Buraik and Yahya on the two sides, who are playing as left and right back, but also as sometimes as winger. So Yahya Ayman and also Al Buraik from the rival teams Al Hilal and Al Nassr also stabilizing this defense, which seems to be now crystallized. Obviously, there would be further experiments probably.
Yeah, one thing here is that it's a bit strange to me that in the defense there are so few Hilal players. I mean, you would expect more Hilal players because most of the first team players in the Al Hilal team which are Saudi players, are the defenders. But basically, what we see here is that it's Abdul Hamid who gets the position, and sometimes Abdullahi. But it seems that it's still working for Mancini if he mixes the players, and I think that's the only thing that matters here. But it's good to know that there are further options for the Saudi team if we consider that a lot of Hilal players who are in the first team of the Hilal's team are Saudi players and are still not making the first team, which shows that there is practically a very good defensive strength and depth in the Saudi national team.
Yeah, and not only on the defense side, but you can find a lot of quality Hilal players in the whole squad. Maybe most of the players from Al Hilal and maybe from Al Nassr. So it can be stated that the squad of the Saudi Arabian national team is mainly built on the PIF related teams. So okay, you mentioned that not the defense of the Saudi team, but the whole squad itself, because there are three starter players from Hilal on the midfield, and also there are many more among the substitutes. So mainly it could be connected to our previous topic in connection with the quality players of Al Hilal, but I think we should discuss that later in the next round of the Champions League, maybe. But if we are talking about other parts of the team, what do you think of Abu Raikan on the attacking side? I'm speaking about the Ahli player, Al Buraikan, and not about the other one.
I think that he was one of the best signings of the season, honestly. A great steal from Al Fateh by Al Ahly. And I'm very happy to see him getting the chances in the national team, because I think he's a very good player. If you check the Al Ahly matches, you can see that many times he was the difference, especially when he was not a first team player and was used as a substitution. Many times when he came on playing, he was the difference, and really you could see that the team had a much bigger attacking potential, and you had the feeling that the Alakli will get something from the match as soon as Abraikan came on. So I think it's really one of the best signings of the season, and it's really good to see that he's getting the chances, and it seems that he's also getting in form and saving his league form to the national team as well as he scored the Saudi goal of the match today.
Yeah, it is without question a class player who's making the difference from week to week. And now he does that in the Saudi national team as well. Also, no wonder that he's playing in the same team as world class player Bobby Firmino. And I know that they are playing together in the last matches, but Al Buraikan is the one who is rather the target man now in the team, and Firmino is playing a bit behind him, maybe. Yeah, and there's no wonder. Obviously, Al Buraikan's finishing skills are now well known in the league, and now in Asia as well.
Yeah, and if there's no more topics, I assume there's none.
Just one observation, if you mind.
Okay, of course.
Just a fun fact. I'm just looking at the Tajikistan team. We already mentioned that the Saudi team's core members are formed by Al Hilal players. It seems that the Tajikistan team is formed by Istiklal Dushanbe players. Much more than Saudi Arabia is depending on Al Hilal players. There are a lot of Dushanbe Istiklal players in the Tajikistan team. This is just a fun fact that it seems that the fate wants Saudi players playing against Tajikistan players in this season all along, because if you remember in the AFC group stage, Istiklal Dushanbe was one of the opponents of Al Nassr in the group members, where Al Nassr won the home game 3-1, and in Dushanbe it was a draw for 1-1 in the last round. Just a fun fact.
Nice one.
So if there's no more topic, then we should conclude this session. Only one more news, that you can find us now on much more podcast platforms. We will share these links and sites on our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram as well. But now you can find us not only on podcast platforms, but on YouTube also. So reach us there. See you soon.